What's good? What's good, fans? What's good, Cleveland? Talk to you in a minute.
Who am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name's
Cameron.
Cam Buford.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
As a competitor, how much does that competitive spirit get in there and say, I want to fight this guy. I want to get some of this guy.
Of course, I want to fight all the guys. Of course that. But at the same time, like I keep telling you, it's a business.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works
For the promoter. Okay.
If you can see, you can believe.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show voice of the fan
Oh my goodness!
continues
gracious.
to
I'm in
evolve,
tears.
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right? Like you said, Pacific Northwest. So I think it's a big part of my game. And every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for the whole
Cam. Nobody.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
I feel like that translated.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's Big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sport. Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do. Yeah.
What's good, Cleveland? How you guys doing up there in the Northwest?
Man, doing all right, Cam. Just kind of suffering through the windstorm and the rain and the cloudiness, but we'll get past it. It'll get to be May soon.
Spring has sprung down here in the south. Another 76-degree day, kind of windy and blustery. There's a little tornado warning over the weekend, but we good down here. What's that on your head? I mean, it doesn't look like the typical you that the fans see every week.
Oh, well, yeah, Cam, thanks for asking, man. It was a gift that my cousin Nick Hugo sent from 213 down there, man, trying to represent the Lakers, man. And he always says, hey, man, we need a little bit of luck. And once you throw one of these on, he actually sent the 2001 and the 2002 championships hats. I was just rocking the 01 this particular show.
Well, fans, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. We're going to get into this NBA playoffs this April 18th, 2023, week 237, Cleveland, of this iteration of Voice of the Fans podcast. The my main show topics today, fans, is the NBA playoffs. We're going to go deep into the NBA playoffs. Obviously, this is a heated moment. We got some things going on. The Clippers, Cleveland talking about he's reaching for luck. And so they got a lucky win over there in Memphis. And then they got some happenstance. Some things happened during that game to kind of aid their path, if you will, in the playoffs. And yeah, that's that luck he's talking about. Look, they're digging deep. They got got the 2001 memorabilia regalia on. Okay. Philly. We're going to talk about Philly locks up Jalen Hurts. And what that means for the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFL. But Philly gets that job done right away. Hurts is sitting pretty right now. The NBA awards, Cleveland's going to give out his 2023 NBA awards. And Russell Westbrook, he's got a lot of hate from everybody in the NBA. But tonight, Cleveland is going to give Russell Westbrook some love. We're going to see to it. He can't argue this one. We're going to talk about the USFL. If anybody watching this USFL, we're going to get into the USFL and how they have the Birmingham Stallions kicked off the season and unveiled their 2022 championship banner at the new stadium down there. But we're going to get into it, those five main topics. But as we start our show each and every week, Cleveland, for it's been more than 200 shows, but this iteration has been 237 shows, Cleveland, on this April 18th. We're going to look at the numbers 18 and 37, Cleveland. When you think of the number 18, who wore that number best, or who comes to your mind first?
Cam, who comes to mind first is a cat that played with the New York Mets named Darryl Strawberry. Dating myself a tad bit.
Good pull. Good pull.
Yeah, that was always a must-see at bat, and produced in the most clutch of situations. Who wore the number the best is Peyton Manning. For that question,
I expected you to go to Randy Moss. Randy Moss wore 18 too. You forget about that.
Oh, sometimes, here and there.
Peyton Manning. Charlie Joyner. He don't have as many rings and things as Peyton.
No, it's not.
Jeff Jager. You know what Jeff Jager is?
Oh, legend around these parts, around the Montlake district. Come on now, Jeff Jager. Jeff Jager's has a bar in Factoria. Man, he used to frequent that like for 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
he come behind the bar and pour the brews and chop it up, man.
But he can't make he can't make your list.
Not who comes to mind.
Jeff
first.
Jager, you hear that, right? You hear that, Montlake.
So
you
they
hear
can only
that,
be
Montlake
2 people.
community.
He doesn't make the cut. I'm so sorry.
What about the number 37? We just got tip off here.
A very fascinating number.
We just got tip off here. KD pulls up.
It's gonna be the same number. It's gonna be Sean Alexander.
He wore it
first and wore it the best.
Sean Alexander, you finally give Alabama running back some love.
Well, I mean that MVP season was incredible.
He had a good few years, a good six-year run.
Sean
Alexander.
That 05 was, I mean, it was the most. I'm not quite sure.
He had the
best
tackle.
We talk about Burrow to Chase. We talk about Burrow to Chase, but in the last 25 years, the most devastating offensive play I've seen is Sean Alexander left.
What behind
Walter Jones and
who's the guard?
Steve Hutchinson. Yeah.
Steve Hutchinson, yeah. I mean, you got to add those in there. You can't just say Sean Alexander.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You got to add. You got to add that in.
Please add that. That's the reason the play was so devastating. It's
because
Sean
as soon as
knows for the hole, and then who's making the holes? Walter Jones and Steve Hutchinson. Yeah.
As soon as Hutchinson went to Minnesota, Sean's average went down from 4.8 to what was it, like 3.5. Some pedestrian numbers.
The poison pill in the contract had never been done before. Yeah, that was ill.
That was a cold combination. But Lester Hayes, Doak Walker, you don't know. None of those guys have anything on Sean Alexander.
I got no MVPs. No.
Oh, this guy. Cleveland in the NFL. Multiple specialists involved in the situation have cleared Bill safety Damar Hamlin for full activities. He's cleared. He's good to go. So give him a round of applause. Give his family a round of applause for suffering through that incident. But he's good to go, Cleveland. Now I ask you, how eager would you be to allow him to get back on the field?
Not that eager, man.
Look at Russell with the chase down block of Kevin Durant. More aggressiveness shown by. Oh, we got air ball by Nick Batum. Eric Gordon put the Clippers up 8-5 early in the game. But as Kevin Durant tried to post up, we got Russell Westbrook locked up on Kevin Durant. And he contested the pass. Kevin Durant didn't get it, kind of bobbled it. He got it back and tried to go dribble and pull up shoot, and Russell Westbrook chased him down and got a block from behind. Eric Gordon pulls up again, 2 threes in a row. Eric Gordon, hello, 11-7. Eric Gordon up. Oh, Cleveland don't want to hear that. He's a little frustrated with that. That's what.
No.
I
mean, it's a touching story. I know. Russell Westbrook is still.
See, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it.
He just, cut out on him and then went and won 2 championships, 2 Finals MVPs, and just left him out there in OKC. Just
again, there you go. There you go.
Hanging out in Oklahoma City by himself.
When you talk about, I don't understand the game. Cleveland, it wasn't like he waltzed into the Washington Bullets and won them a championship. He went to a team that had just been in the championship a year ago. So let's not blow this out of proportion. Kevin Durant's great. I love him. He's a fantastic. But when you just said he walked away and went and got 2 MVPs, it wasn't like he went to the Washington Bullets and carried them to 2 back-to-back finals championships.
Oh, Cam, I didn't say he resurrected a franchise and put him on his back and carried him to the promised land. What I said was
I'm just clarifying.
The tandem of Westbrook and Durant were supposed to win a championship. They took the team that went to the championship to 7 games and were actually up 3-2 in that series. And then he just cut out. And then went and got all these accolades and championships. But again, even Russell Westbrook to just be a shell of himself. Very complacent, satisfied.
Russell Westbrook won an MVP after that.
The triple-double record. Yeah, with the triple-double. That was great. He won an MVP with that.
So that's a shell of himself? Winning an MVP, that's a shell of himself?
Well, I mean, he's not won a championship. He's never – he hasn't been to the championship since Kevin Durant left. And I'm sorry. Since Kevin Durant left, they did go in that one time. But,
And again, you insinuated the insinuation is that Kevin Durant took his talents and went up and built up a franchise. Which is not the case.
I did not say that. I said the absolute opposite of that. I said he did not. I said he did not put a franchise on his back. He was not.
But when you simply make the assertion, KD bounced on Russell and left him to be a shell of himself. The assumption is that KD did better without him. Sure, he went and won a championship. Fantastic.
No, 2.
And they're both in the
back to back.
They both carry the same amount of weight. No. Let's get started. You got me started. This is an NFL segment right here.
Okay. Yeah.
I told you we gave DeMar Hamlin and everything, everybody else who helped him get to this point around him. You would hesitate before you allowed him on the field as a coach, as a family member. Would you have a conversation with him as a family member, or would you understand that his passion is to play football and he want to get out there and play the game again?
No, all the above, man. I think everybody involved should be concerned because he died on the football field. So that's extremely unusual. Has never ever happened, and what makes you the anomaly to die on the football field and then get back out there and, play like nothing ever happened? I mean, there's got to be some type of precautions and considerations.
Everybody got better by that. Everybody, I assure you, everybody got better. Kudos. Everybody got better with the medics around the NFL. Everybody involved with that situation. That became a test case. Everybody got better. I guarantee you, everybody start doing practices and run-throughs after what happened to DeMar Hamlin on the field. Am I wrong? You don't think everybody got better from that situation?
Sure, they got better prepared for that particular scenario, but that person died on the football field. I would not be rushing to get back on the football field if you died on the football field. Would you be rushing back to get back to any job that you had where you died? You did something, you died. Are you in a great big hurry to get back and do that?
clearly.
And should the people around you be like super encouraging about going back and doing the thing that you did and you died?
I mean, this wasn't the first time that somebody's been resuscitated, is it?
Yeah, it was the first time someone's
On
ever
a
been
football
resuscitated on
field.
a football field.
Yeah, again, on a
So this is the
football
first
field.
time in that profession anyone's ever died
So when you say
playing that
anything,
profession or doing that job.
when you say anything, like it's happened before. People's been resuscitated at the bank, had to go back to work at the bank, had to go back to the work at the hospital. It's done. It's been done before.
Okay. Well, if you're the bank teller at Crenshaw and Slauson and you got shot and you died, are you in a great big hurry to go back and be the bank teller on the bank at corner
You had it
Crenshaw
got
and
shot.
Slauson?
You had it got shot. Now that changes the whole scenario.
You died
That
doing
changes
your
the
job.
whole scenario.
You died doing
Cleveland.
your job.
You just changed the whole scenario when
No,
you
I
say
didn't.
when you're the bank teller and you got shot.
You're asking
You just changed the whole
should they be
scenario.
encouraging and rushing him back to going to a thing that he did and died? Now, if he's fully medically cleared to do everything, and I don't see anything
medically clear.
different from before you died. But yeah, go ahead and try that again.
Man, well,
It's got to be some apprehension, don't you think?
Again, if this is his passion, this is what he loves. He's been cleared to do. He's been itching for the moment to get back out there to put the pads back on. Yeah, that's him. You only get a finite. You got a finite opportunity.
That sounds like 23, 24 years old, man.
Oh, there you go.
Sounds like yeah.
there you go. But at that age, I mean, you're like, I came through it. I don't know if you've been in a car accident, but you're like, damn, I came through it. That was ugly, but here we go. Let's go. And I mean, again, grateful that everything's okay and he's being cleared to go. But yeah, there probably be a little apprehension, but he's decided to go. Cleveland, Jalen Hurts, gets a big deal. In a couple of years, he's going to be averaging 51 million. He's going to have, I think, it's next season he gets his 179. Owed to him, guaranteed. The deal's worth over 250 mil, 255, I believe. Congratulations, Jalen Hurts. Cleveland, how did this change? How does this change everything?
Doesn't really change anything. It's a real safe contract. I think it's fairly similar to Russell with regards to guaranteed money, and
it's a little bit more than
Russell. A little bit, yeah. I mean, he's younger and he just came off a Super Bowl, so the structure of the contract is great. I think it's quarterback friendly and is on par with where he has established himself as a NFL quarterback. So good for him.
Yeah, I like how they got this done real quick. Like it wasn't a lot of wasted time trying to get this done. I like how they got this done really quickly, and took care of him. Obviously, I mean, it shows he's a team player. We know he's a team player about his character and everything about what he's done. So he didn't blow the market out, and they got the deal done. Now they're ready to roll. They know where they stand. They know where to go for the next few years, several years. He's going to be with the Eagles, and congratulations to everybody involved. This puts a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson. In my opinion, this puts a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson. Not so much the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens now have a benchmark of where they need to hit. He got 179. Okay, Lamar. We're at 199, Lamar. 199 guaranteed 5-year deal. Where you at, Lamar?
Well, that's up to Lamar.
They have to throw.
No one knows the answer to that question.
This is what I'm saying. This is Hurts was able to get the deal. By the way, Hurts, congratulations to Hurts for having an all-black female team kind of with handling his marketing, handling his business, handling all his business dealings for him. So congratulations for him getting that done in the female branch, I think her name is, to get this deal done. But that's the advantage. No doubt she was at the owners meeting. No doubt she was at the combine. No doubt she was making sure she's having a conversation or with the different teams in the area or with the to make sure this contract is going to be viable and legit and everything's going to be above board. Lamar, who's the representative for you being in there? If you're not going to be there at in the building having these discussions, who's doing this for you? This is why Terrence Mann hits the three. Clippers go up by 3, 18-15, 4 minutes to go in the first half or first quarter, excuse me. Lamar, who's doing this is Lamar. Get your agent, bro. Go sign her. You don't want to. You don't want to just pay anybody. Just go sign her, okay? Or someone she knows. Just so you can get the deal done, bro. Because this is looking really bad for Lamar. I think I think it's this deal. It doesn't make the situation any worse. I think the Ravens still. I think it just looks worse on Lamar. What do you think?
I mean, I don't necessarily think that it makes it look worse on Lamar. I think it's just been a very tenuous negotiation and made more difficult with there not being a mediator in between the player and the team. So, every argument is, it has to get much more personal because you're talking to the person that you're talking about and they don't necessarily like what you're saying and they feel their value and their worth is different than you do. I have no idea how far apart these people are, and neither does anyone. I mean, no one really knows anything about the negotiations other than what they're assuming is that the benchmark that Lamar is using is the Deshaun Watson contract.
Yeah, that's what it's been. Yeah,
and it's just been, just the owner and him talking about it. I mean, that's got to be kind of a weird conversation all the time, right?
No, not with Ballmer. I wouldn't suspect that, but I don't know if Ballmer's having that discussion. That's part of the deal.
Well, of course, Ballmer's not having that discussion because those players have an agent.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're not talking straight to Kawhi like, hey man, I'm only gonna give you this, but why? I did this because this. I mean, it's a much different dynamic.
Oh well, Lamar, it's we've been talking about this now since the end of the season. In February now is for 2 months now. Lamar, this is dragging on like the Aaron Rodgers situation. We're gonna have to give a edict, no more Lamar Jackson conversation until this is done. Just like we gave the Aaron Rodgers situation. The Steelers interesting trade went on today, and I'd be hesitant. Just like you would be hesitant to pick up the phone when Jerry West calls. I'd be hesitant to make a deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers involving a wide receiver. And the Rams are trading Allen Robinson to the Steelers. They're swapping 7th round pick and cash. This is an interesting deal. It sounds like a cash dump for the Rams, but they're paying more. They're paying 60% of his contract this season. I don't know if it has to be a deal where if he's not on their team, that cash doesn't cost against that cash that they're paying for the salary doesn't cost doesn't cap for the count, doesn't hit the cap, the team's cap. That has to be it, because otherwise why would you just cut the dude and not have and just be on the hook for his money? Because I know once you cut him, that money doesn't count. So by them trading him to the Steelers, they're paying 60% of his $15 million. That money has to come off the cap. What do you think? What did that trade say to you?
I was actually quite excited for Allen Robinson when he finally got out of Chicago and went to a team that had a passing offense that I thought he could flourish in. I've always loved his catching radius. He catches anything that you throw in his arm's length. It just has not translated to production on the field, but now that he's going to that Pittsburgh offense.
Well, he was hurt the first year with the Rams.
Yeah, it's only year with the Rams. So I mean, he went there and he got hurt, and then Cooper Kupp was also hurt, and when he came back, it was like, okay, well, this is a very similar, and Matt Stafford was in and out of the lineup, so it's a very similar situation to what he was dealing with in Chicago. I mean,
right, exactly.
If Pickett is really who he's supposed to be, yeah, he's a great addition, and for a 7th round pick, for sure, yeah, come to camp and see what you got. If it doesn't work out, a 7th round pick, yeah, great deal.
Oh, he did. I thought he played a couple years. with the Rams, but he only played 1 year and played 10 games. Yeah, and it did not materialize. But yeah, he's had 3 years, 3 years over 1150 in his career receiving. When that's what in Chicago.
Certainly can help. I mean, if you can pick up a receiver of that caliber, I mean, it only
for a
adds to your
7th round
depth,
pick,
right? Doesn't mean you don't still draft a receiver or whatever. It just means like, man, if you get him for a 7th round pick and you draft a receiver that can kind of be, in the fold with Pickens and those guys, yeah.
But I'm surprised the Steelers would make the as good as they've been in drafting receivers.
They're still going to do that. But if you can get Allen Robinson for a 7th round, yeah. And they're paying the 60% like you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, they're paying 60% of the deal. Yeah, I guess that's
we'll see what's up, man. If it don't work out, it don't work out.
It don't work out. Yeah, that's the deal. So who do you have as the best player in this draft, Cleveland? I know you've been drooling over Will Anderson. You've been CJ Stroud. You're not high on Young. You're more high on CJ Stroud. Who are you most? Who's the best player in this draft in your mind? Is it Jalen Carter? Is that why you've been dropping salt on this kid all off season?
Cam, I don't want to get caught up in all the stuff that I'm hearing. So I'm just going to make it very simple. I'm not going to get it caught up in the potential.
Well, let's talk about what you've been hearing. What, you got ears to the ground. Let's hear it. What are you hearing? That he's amazing. He's gonna be. What's your boy Reggie White? Is that what you're hearing?
No, what I am hearing is that.
Hold on, was that just Coco?
Yes, Coco.
Hold on. Is that Coco defending the lot now?
Yeah, Lala's coming home, so he's gonna see mommy.
Damn, Coco is not a little lapdog no more, huh?
No. Half Pit Lab is kicking in when the door.
Half Pit Lab?
Half Pit, half Lab.
So what's that, 35 pounds? 35, 40 pounds?
She's 50.
Ooh. Oh, you feeding her. She's eating
good. I mean, hopefully she's getting any bigger. That's about the size she's going to stay. She's one and a half now. So, yeah, she's 50 pounds.
That should be it.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard that. I was like, damn.
Yeah, a little the pig comes out. Yeah.
It's like she dipping in the compound. That's what he sound like. Okay.
Nobody's really getting in. No, but
right. Nobody's coming through there. Yeah.
Not through that way. But, right. I keep hearing the upside of Anthony Richardson, all the physical attributes, and someone is going to take a risk. And if he is what he could potentially be, then he is by far that. Who I would take would be CJ Stroud. And after that,
so okay, so I'm asking you, I'm not asking you who you would take. That's not the question.
Okay.
The question is who you see as being the best player. Who's the
Jalen Carter?
Who's the playmaker, the game changer?
Jalen Carter.
I think it's Will Anderson. I think Will Anderson is coming off the edge. Like,
I was thinking that, and a friend of mine called from the ATL. And he was like, whenever you hear the safest, best pick in the draft, I just always think of when the Seahawks drafted Aaron Curry.
but he was 3. No,
best. He went 4.
For
Safest,
Missouri,
best pick in the draft, can do everything, all of the measurables of the combine, the incredible illustrious career.
That was
then he was not that.
No. I mean, I didn't see that. I didn't see that when I watched Curry. Even just when I seen the highlights, he was an undersized linebacker playing at Missouri, and I mean, I look at impact and more than just stats. So he was an undersized linebacker, and so he was. I mean, where are you going to go from there? So I was surprised that they made the pick. I was like, okay, maybe they see something I don't. They're professionals. They're doing
Safest
this.
best pick in the draft at number 4. That's who it was. But I mean, Will Anderson. I mean, he brings a few more intangibles. I could certainly see him having a much steadier career, and certainly if he's in the right system. So
yeah, exactly. If that's all they're doing, that's all you're saying is okay, protect the edge and get to the quarterback. Like, this kid has proven that he can do this in the SEC against some of the best talent that's going to be drafted. And I hate to make that broad statement, but obviously it's true that some of the best talent is playing. The game is won in the trenches. Some of the best talent in the trenches is played in the SEC, and he's done that against that talent at a high level.
And Jalen Carter hasn't done that.
He has. No. I didn't.
He's been the best player on the defense of a team that won back-to-back national championships.
Okay, so we get that is a one position that I find is very difficult to grade as a defensive lineman. So I think a lot of that is want to. A lot of that is,
and that's the big question mark about Jalen. And
a lot of that's want to.
You don't want to hear that too many times from too many different people. Maybe one person kind of saw that and was like, okay,
but that's hard to gauge.
But when you start hearing it a few too many times, that's a question mark. So again, Will Anderson Jr., the much safer pick with regards to that.
That's hard to gauge that want to, regardless of one person says that it's going to float around and that's going to be the thing. But that's hard to gauge, and that's what I say about defensive linemen, where, I mean, they're not going to be. Vince Wilfork was not the specimen that you wanted on the football field, but when he locked up that middle, I mean, that's what you can't. How do you can't see that until you get it on the field. Right? Until you see that flourish. But there's no Vince Wilfork coming out of college. When you saw, who was the dude they sent to the Sebastian? Was it Sebastian? They sent to the Raiders. Jeez, what was the dude they sent to the Raiders? He just won the Hall of Fame Richard Seymour. That was one of the talents that I seen play in college that I recognized. Okay, he's going to be able to perform. Your guy who played in North Carolina, who played basketball for the Tar Heels. He was another guy that you could recognize. Okay, there's talent there, and he's agile enough to make agile and elusive enough to make some plays from that position. That's a position I can't grade. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't grade. So I see a lot, and I think a lot of that comes down to hunger. How hungry are you? But I can see that Will Anderson position. I can see him fighting off the blockers and getting to the quarterback or getting to your ball carrier. I can see that, and I can grade that much better than I can grade the defensive interior defense. That's why I say he's going to be better. I can say that with confidence. I can't say that with confidence.
Yeah, because that is safer pick. You're not really saying he's going to be better for any physical attribute reason whatsoever, other than it's just easier to gauge that position. So we'll have to see.
That's what's going into it. That's what's going into it. The way
it's easier to gauge that position as opposed
so,
to boom or bust, which is why you are saying that he's going to be the better pro.
Yeah,
you're not
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I'll be safer taking Will. I'll be more comfortable.
Absolutely, you would.
Yeah, but so you want him? You what? I mean, where are you taking him to dinner at? Where's the first place
I
you
want
taking him?
I want either one of those things. We're going right down to Daniels on the water on Lake Union.
Okay,
straight place we're going.
Okay. Well, it looks like the Sporting News has your guys going. Has Shroud going young, Anderson going 3, Richardson going 4. So who that put in your lap?
Jalen Carter. You just said it.
Jalen Carter sitting right there in your lap. Anderson. Sporting News has you guys doing that, and then taking the Ohio State wide receiver Smith and Jigba, taking that wide receiver at number 20. What you think about that one?
They may. I don't. Okay. Knowing the Seahawks the way that I do not read anything into any draft prognostication that anyone has to say.
So all these mock drafts, you're not paying no attention to them. So when the Ringer says you guys are going to get, the Ringer says you guys are going to get Wilson, the edge rusher, and then pick up Robinson at number 20.
And Cam, who said that last week?
I mean, we've been saying he's been on
the board.
Who said
that last week?
He's not falling that far. He's not going to fall that far. You might have mentioned that. You were dreaming about that. That was you're trying to play fantasy football. This ain't fantasy football, bro. This ain't fantasy. That's what you're speaking.
I think the way the quarterbacks are bunching up at the top of the draft, that the Seahawks are definitely going to have the opportunity to get either Will or Jalen. Now that 20 pick, nah, man. It's not
Peter Schrager, your guy, Peter Schrager. I think that's your guy. Has you guys getting Richardson at 5, and then the Iowa's linebacker Van Ness at 20. What do you think about that?
The 20 pick is not going to be chosen by the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, you think that's getting? They're moving back on
Absolutely moving back on that one.
Does it depend on who you take at 5? I mean, yeah. Does it depend on who you take at 5? If you get so the Clippers into the first quarter, 29-24, Clippers up. Paul George on the bench cheering on Kawhi Leonard, the robot, like Devin Booker talking to the refs, as you might imagine. I mean, him and your boy Luka. I mean, they always at the refs, so. Oh, Devin Booker. Well, Devin Booker took a knee to the chest. Took a Kawhi knee to the chest, it looked like. Yeah. Terrence Mann at the line. 11:43 left in the second quarter. He hits 2 to put the Clippers up 31-74 in the second quarter. Over
31-24. Let's keep
what I say? 31-24. What I say? Man. That's what I said.
No, you said 31-74, man.
Oh, 31-24. Now Ayton just hit a mid-range jumper. So it's 31-26. 8 and 4 points, 3 rebounds. It's Russell, Bones Highland, Plumlee, Terrence Mann. Let me see who else is on the court. Who else is on the court for the Clippers? I think that was Norman Powell.
Oh wow! Why don't you get back to us when that's a 4-point lead for the Suns, which would be in about 5 minutes with that lineup on the court. So we can go back to our conversation that we were having that was very candid discussion as opposed to that nonsense.
Oh, Russell Westbrook. What else talking about? Russell Westbrook, Plumlee, Powell, Highland. You don't like Highland. I like that combination.
That's not going to win you a playoff game. That's not going to even win you.
That's your bench.
That's not even going to win you the 5 minutes that bench is on the court. It's going to be a -9.
Terrence Mann forces CP3 almost stole the ball. Westbrook with the brick. Westbrook used to be good at that elbow jumper.
Oh, for real.
What happened to that?
Westbrook used to be good at a lot of things. That he's
What
not good
happened
at
to the
anymore.
elbow jumper?
Yeah, Westbrook used to be good at a lot of things he's not good at anymore.
So Van Ness, you don't like that pick, Van
I
Ness.
mean, maybe. I mean, Cam, that no.
Oh, you're saying they're not gonna. You're not saying they're not gonna take that pick at all. What are they? Are they moving back on it? They're just gonna move back and pick up 2 second rounders or something.
At least a second rounder to move back. Yeah, I mean they're probably gonna do that with the 5. I mean, if they can get the dude from Texas Tech, if somebody gives them enough at the 5, they're not even gonna get Carter or Anderson. They're just gonna fall back for the Texas Tech dude, get the extra picks, and then when 20 comes around, what you got? Okay, well I need the 36 and 44. It's not.
So
they don't do the draft like those other teams. They never ever have. And Cam, I will tell you this from experience. I've been to a Seahawks draft and been like
frustrated
and just turned around and left. That was the last one I went to. And you know who they picked?
Who's that?
They picked actually someone, who's probably the most unsung hero of that great of all those great defenses. A cat named Bruce Irvin that no one had ever heard of.
At 6, he did that. They did that early. He was 6 or 7, wasn't he?
14.
14. Okay.
It's like, and then the next 3 years they didn't even draft in the first round. The Bruce Irvin draft party was the last one I went to.
That was it. I remember they did that. That was but they did at that position at that time, that team. I mean, that was a throwaway pick. Let's get somebody quick who can get to the quarterback.
14 is not a throwaway pick, my dude.
No,
and picking somebody that no one had ever
listen
heard of.
What I'm saying. You're not listening to what I'm saying. At that time, with the talent they had on the team when they picked him, obviously you said because he the sole reason that they went from picking at 14 to the next 3 years not picking in the first round.
They still had a first round pick. They just never used it.
Well, I'm saying, but it was late first rounder. It was a late first rounder. That's why they did
it. Was Bruce Irvin was one of those Pete Carroll picks that he had in that window of time where he had that tremendous sphere of influence and had seen everybody and knew exactly what he wanted.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He was when I say a throwaway pick, he was a pick that we know exactly what we want, what this team needs. And that's his little pass rush.
We're going to get the best player in the country that does that.
Yeah, and they found him. Exactly. So you don't know what to think. You hear all this stuff, and you don't know what to think about the Seahawks draft.
I know that 5 is very enticing because of all the quarterbacks that are bunched up at the top, and the question marks around Jalen Carter. So we'll just have to see, man.
All right, man. Well, it's next week. We're gonna talk next week. We can narrow this down, hammer this out a little bit more about what you suspect the Seahawks doing because the draft is a week away for these young cats. Cleveland, let's talk about this NBA playoffs, man. A little quick review. The play-in tournament, Atlanta beat the Heat. Atlanta advanced to move into number 7. The Heat beat the Bulls to become the number 8 team. The Lakers beat the T-Wolves in their number 8 series, or in their playing matchup. The T-Wolves turn around and beat the Thunder to advance into the become the number 8 seed. So real quickly, Cleveland, I guess out of those games, the question that comes out of that is now, what do you think of? You thought you had you questioned my All NBA team last week when I put Fox ahead of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Russell with the 3 to put the Clippers up by 10 at the 8-minute mark in the second quarter. Aiden come down. Aiden has got buckets tonight. Aiden comes down and hit a little jumper, midi. So That was my searing question out of those first of the playing tournaments is now that you have anointed Shea Gillis Alexander as a basketball god.
No, I didn't say that. I said he was first
What,
team All NBA. I said he has an opportunity to prove if he belongs in the conversation if he can be in the waiting room, and
so
he's not in the waiting room.
he
Played
didn't make it to the
played
waiting
himself
room. I
out of
thought he
that.
was already in the waiting room. I thought him and Anthony or Ant-Man is waiting to be called.
No, Ant-Man's in the waiting room. He established himself last year. Shea
How
did
does
not
it?
establish himself this year.
How is Ant-Man in your waiting room? But Shea Gilgeous Ant-Man hasn't been an all first team all pro in your opinion. And that he put him I didn't have him in my neither one of my teams, first, second, or third team. So
Well,
has
Shea
he been
hasn't
an
even
all
been
pro?
to the playoffs. So he went to the play in. I mean, Anthony was in the
Well, okay, so
playoffs last year and made some noise, threw some haymakers. Man, it was like, okay, that's somebody you have to account for in the playoffs.
so
Shea ain't even in it.
playoffs mean more than all NBA.
I wouldn't say it means more than all NBA because typically it's the same cast of characters, right? It's not like somebody that's like
No, we were talking about two specific examples. One who made the All NBA, who's not who didn't make the playoffs. We're talking about two specific examples. It's not the same cast of characters.
okay, well, no playoff success means more than the all NBA team, I think.
Playoff success means more than okay. All right. We're just trying to because you come up with all these felonious
No, the rules don't
measurements.
change. No, the rules don't change. It's always the
Well,
same, Cam.
okay.
It's the Wu-Tang time of the season, man. The cream rises to the top,
So playoff success means more than your individual accolades. That's what I'm understanding that on April 18th, 2023.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you
Okay.
but that
But
it's so rare that your playoff success doesn't match your all NBA, ranking. I mean, every once in a while that happens, Cam, but it's few and far between.
Okay. Well, we're dealing with that specific situation right now. Cleveland, we've had some recent injuries, so we're gonna get right into it. Should the block rule be eliminated? Should the charge block rule be eliminated?
No.
Giannis got his back hurt. He went under. He was injured and didn't play the 3/4 of their game one scenario where they end up losing. Hero broke his hand. That wasn't because of the block charge situation, but John Morant twisted up his wrist on a block charge scenario. Did that give you any reason to think about that rule?
No.
No. Okay. What is your Hero broke his hand? What do you thoughts on the injuries in the NBA?
The most impactful being Ja. I think that Milwaukee, if he comes back, if Giannis comes back anytime soon, they'll be able to weather that storm. The Tyra Hero, they were already kind of, undermanned. So yeah, that definitely is a devastating blow to their chances of getting to the 8, being the 1. But that wasn't probably going to happen anyways. So the most impactful injury has definitely been Ja so far.
Right. No doubt. Cleveland and Boston spanked the Hawks, had them down by 30. I think they had them by 30 by halftime. In that game one came around tonight. I didn't watch 2 seconds of that game. They beat them again by 10 points, I believe it was, to take a 2-0 lead. White, the unsung hero, shooting 60% in that series. Are we expecting a sweep in that one? Are you expecting the Hawks to get a game?
Sweeps are hard in the playoffs, Cam. So, but I am expecting 4-1.
4-1. And then Denver spanks the T-Wolves, put it on them. Like that one, I think they had them down by 30 at one point. I don't know how much of that game you saw. This is sweep or is this 4-1 as well? Russell getting
I would,
shots up. Russell was,
I would say 4-1 just because the sweep is hard.
hey, this is the type of player you want on your team. A player with that hunger. Cleveland talked about playoff success. He dissed the man by saying he was a shell of himself as he won an MVP. This is the type of player the hunger, the tenacity, the grit, the grind. This is the type of player you want on your squad playing for you. And I'm talking about Russell Westbrook right now. He had 2 free throws to put the Clippers up 11 points with 6.5 minutes to go in the second half. Or the second quarter, second quarter. And Russell, look at him. Russell is again playing KD, but they have no DeAndre Ayton he's feasting. I don't know how many points he has, but every time I look up, DeAndre Ayton's getting some buckets up. He has as many shots as Russell right now. Let's see here's Russell posting up again and making stuff happen. Let's see how many shots these guys are. Just again, Cleveland, go ahead and filibuster for me.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook is a shell of his former self. He was 3 for 19 in the game that they won in game 1. Can't happen again.
Well, first of all, hold on. Before we get to Russell, I want to talk about your Lakers. What did you see out of the game? What did you see out of the Lakers win outside of John Morant going down? We know that was impactful, as you mentioned earlier. But what did you like out of your Lakers that you saw that can carry into game 2?
Well, Cam, I saw Christopher Reeves' son, Austin Reeves, grandson of Jarrell from Krypton, his incredible performance. I saw Rui Hachimura finally finding himself, getting himself centered, in his culture, channeling his ancestors from Japan to have that type of heroic effort. I saw the point guard do some good things, and I saw Anthony Davis shake off what could have been a horrific injury, can move his arm. Grace of God, he was able to come back out, finish up seven blocks, was it?
AD was a monster down there in the low post. He was a monster down there in the low post. So what I noticed about that game, obviously Rui. I like Rui back in Gonzaga. Rui can't out of his mind. That's what he was doing. He was getting those open three pointers. He was hitting them. He was dunking at fools. He was screaming, yelling. He was playing out of his mind.
That's Rui you've never seen before in the NBA. I haven't seen it before. This is a great time. This is a great time to come out.
Yeah, this is a great time for it. So
yeah.
They got that, and your son of Jarrell. Son of Jarrell. I like that one. Boy, I mean, the I am him was a little over the top, but I mean, he had reason to scream.
It's not over the top. It's not over the top when you go to the grindhouse. Nobody expecting you to win. You the 7th seed. You just barely got into the playoffs. Everybody is against you. The whole world, he's in the Tupac country right now, man. It's just me against the world, man. He's put it on his back. I'm him. He felt it. He expressed it. World caught it.
Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of that, but at the moment, he could have screamed damn near anything he wanted to because he was putting on a show. He was cooking in Memphis. And he's apparently that's yeah, that was a good one. Oh, see. Come on, Ninja. I mean, what school do you guys go to? Ninja, did you grow up in Montlake? Ninja, did you grow up in Montlake?
Why you always have Ninja? Because he agrees with me. I don't understand.
Did you grow up in Montlake, Ninja? No, that the Lakers. Hey, the thing about that game is, so you got 2 big games. 2. I mean, it was 1 game, but you got 2 players. Your role players, the others, Cleveland, that I was speaking about, stepped up. Anthony Davis gave you the rebounds. He led the force on the rebounds. Your Hall of Famer, the guy you say to go, had 20 points. It was like It was like, where was he in that game? That was I think that was the best thing for you guys. Is not he didn't 20. I think he was 20-7. That's obviously that's not a you don't poo-poo those numbers, but from somebody you're expecting to carry you to another finals, those numbers were poo-pooable. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Cam, and it's good that we got those contributions from those other players. It's not sustainable. You can't continue to kind of rely on that contribution. Eventually, the stars have to step up and do what they do. And Cam, as you've noticed, it is the playoffs, so all that depth perception that you like to go to, you've seen the rotations get dramatically shorter, right? They don't just go all down the bench anymore. It's the playoffs now, right? So you go 1, 2.
He's gonna need to carry him, Ninja. If they going anywhere, he's gonna need to step up and carry him.
Yeah,
can he step up? It's a question.
You know what I'm saying? It's you'll go to the second dude. The third dude, it depends on who it is. You're not going to the fourth dude on the bench.
I mean, come on. Where's Rui? Oh, we know. Okay, you got Reeves as the son of Jarrell as your starting. Your PG, your starting point guard now. He took over the spot. You can't even say he earned it, but he just kind of took over this role. Rui has to be your fourth guy, fourth or fifth. You got Rui, LeBron, Reeves, Anthony Davis, LeBron, Reeves. Where's Rui, D'Lo?
Oh, no. Rui doesn't start, my dude. Rui is
that's what I'm saying.
Is the first number one trust guy. He's number 6. Dennis Schroeder's number 7. They go too much past that. It's like, oh, I don't know. Who are they going to?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
They put Steven Jackson 2.0 on Ja. I don't know if you noticed, but Ja was having a little bit of a problem getting around him.
Who's that?
Steven Jackson 2.0. His name is Jared Vanderbilt.
I know. Ja was flying through the air. That's how he got hurt. He ain't had no problem getting around nobody. He was flying through the air. That's why he got hurt.
That's why he got hurt, but he wasn't all that particularly productive before he got hurt. He was flying through the air because he knew that's all he could do to propel this team to a victory. And let us not forget that Jaren Jackson Jr. played the most incredible game he's ever going to play. He's not going to play a better game than that.
Defensive man of the year, he's a go-to guy.
He's not a go-to guy.
If you listen to John told
if that's your go-to guy, if that's your go-to guy, man, you might as well not even get on the plane and go to the crib house.
Ooh, you're hitting the defensive player of the year like that?
He played incredibly, extraordinarily well. He will never play that good again. That's not replicatable.
He's a starter. He's a starter.
Sure is a starter.
He came into the season as a starter. Unlike the two guys.
Cam, 20-10 and 2.5 blocks is what you should be able to expect. That dude was like in the 30s, man. No, that's not happening all the time.
You and Ninja finally beefing. You and Ninja finally beefing right now. Somebody ain't gonna be happy at the cookout this weekend.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, that's cool. He had a great game. It's not replicatable.
So let's talk about replicatable.
Okay.
You want to bang on Russell Westbrook, Cleavon, for going 3 for 19 and making big plays down a stretch. I think he's the only player in the final minute of the game to have two field goals, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals and a block. Like, he was incredible down the stretch, regardless of what the stats say. You need a player with that hunger, with that tenacity, with that veteran experience on the court to make plays for you. How can you hate on what this guy's done?
Did Mr. Bomber send you those ridiculously obscure stats that don't mean absolutely anything and that you can't even equate to how that actually even translates into a victory?
No, nobody's ever done that before.
2 and 2. What was it?
No, nobody's ever done that before.
And two and
Yeah.
two and two and two and two in a minute.
No, right. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Nobody's
amazing. Yeah, no,
nobody's ever done that before.
no,
though,
man.
Cleveland.
Wow, nobody's ever done two and two and two and two and two
Yeah.
and two in a
That's
minute.
right.
Wow.
He don't like it at all. He don't like it.
2 points, 2 rebounds, 2
He don't like it at
steals,
all.
2
He don't
blocks, 2
like it at
fouls.
all.
Most ridiculous stat I've ever heard. Like game 1 of a playoff game, we went 3 for 19. You're gonna bring up 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2.
No, but what I'm telling you, Cleveland, is I'm telling you, you want to give me some stats. I give you some stats to debunk what you're talking about. But what I'm telling you is stats don't matter in this situation. It's your input. It's your input.
Russell Westbrook is weak. They're not gonna win this series, and you're gonna stop talking here real shortly.
As the Clippers maintain a 7-point lead going into the halftime.
Do they? That's cool.
Man, well, you gotta it's amazing how you can't recognize somebody's good play. You want to give your boy Rui credit for his amazing come out during the playoffs.
Okay.
You want to give the son of Jarrell credit for his first NBA playoffs.
Jarrell's
but you don't want to give
for sure.
You don't want to give this guy credit for coming in and helping a team out and surprising I have to say 60% of NBA fans once KD signed with the Phoenix Suns anointed them as NBA champions, Western Conference champions for sure. The Clippers go in there and beat them based on what this guy has done, but you don't want to give him no credit for it. You need to watch more basketball.
No, I saw the 3 for 19. Great win.
Look like a buffoon. You look like a buffoon.
That's
okay. Well, keep riding with your Russ Westbrook, homie. Keep riding with him.
That's you.
Okay.
So seriously, in all seriousness, the Clippers are up 4 minute. Clippers are up 3 actually right now. Minute and a half to go.
It was just 7 the last time that you spoke on him, like 45 seconds ago. What happened?
Somebody got a foul. Somebody got fouled, but here's Kawhi going to work. Here's Kawhi. Nick Batum, bing bong bing. Oh, good rebound, Terrence, man. Good rebound. It's a 3-point game with KD. When KD rushing to the hoop, KD putting up another 15-footer. Woo! This is a good game, fellas. This is a good game. We got quality talent out here.
Got that Batum Powell, man. Westbrook, Plumlee lineup out there. Cam.
No, this is Kawhi, Zubac, Eric Gordon, Terrence Mann, and
okay, so a little
Nick
bit
Batum.
more semblance of a team that actually can hang.
We got Nick Batum. Oh man, this is tight. This is playoff action right here. Kawhi taking CP3 to the hoop. Screaming for it that he got fouled. So 59, 54, 37, 35 seconds left to go in the half. Real quick. Chris Paul comes down, crosses up, go for the 2 for 1. Crosses up Eric Gordon. Hits a jumper with 30 seconds to go in the half. So he's setting up for the 2 for 1. 30 seconds to go. Again, Eric Gordon, Zubac, Nick Batum, Kawhi Leonard, Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann gets the ball at the top of the key. Makes a pass into the Kawhi Leonard, who shoots a fadeaway, misses, and here come the Suns rushing up court. Booker has it on the wing, pulls up, and Terrence Mann's face hit a 3 right in his grill.
Wow!
8-point ties it up right at the half. That 3-pointer by Booker, right up in Terrence Mann's face, ties it up at the half. So 59-59. Wow, quick little run there by the Suns. Well, they're desperate. They're desperate for something else. Now let's get back to the playoff action. You know Malik Monk. You're familiar with his work, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
What about De'Aaron Fox? You familiar with his work?
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest here, Cam. Okay, first off,
oh boy, here we
you
go.
know,
Here we go. Here we go.
You know how Laker Nation feels about Malik Monk. Okay.
You got. Well, I don't know how you guys know about feel about him. You guys
shipped him the monkey trader out here.
The trader. You guys.
We call him the monkey trader. Okay.
You guys lowballed him like you guys like you do.
He went to Sacramento for $200,000 more. He could have been living in the back of LeBron's house in the guest house. He could have been going to the house.
He want to play.
He could have been going to the house party. Opening night parties and whatnot. He could have been living in LA doing his thing.
He want to play.
He chose to go up the road for $200,000 more. Plus, LeBron offered him a stake in one of his car dealerships that was supposed to make $18.6 million over the next 3 years, and he didn't want to do it.
I don't know about that one.
So we ain't got no love. We ain't got no love for the monkey trader.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if he turned down and walked away from the car dealership.
Sure did.
I don't know about that one.
Brian had it on the table. Like stay in LA, kick it with us. We can't give you the contract money, the show money, but I'm gonna take care of you. And he
wanted that shit on paper. He wanted to let them put it on paper.
He was on paper. He was about to sign up for the car dealerships. You didn't want that. Oh well.
Fox, Malik Monk. That's a dynamic duo right there. Then
that's not a dynamic duo. That's not a dynamic duo. See, you're getting carried away with yourself. De'Aaron Fox has played 2 very good playoff games at home in Sacramento.
De'Aaron Fox has been all NBA all season long. He's been Mr.
Okay, well, they're about to go see the Oracle, and you know how that goes, right?
They're up 2-0. They're up 2-0. They're up 2-0. Have you been watching this? I'm starting to question if you actually watched these games.
I watched these.
Or you and Cole. I mean, you can't listen to the game, and you can't just catch the score at halftime. You be walking Coco around.
Cam, it's been established. The defending champion Golden State Warriors have not been a good road team this entire time. Okay, the entire season. That's fine. Okay. The Sacramento Kings were able to hold serve at home. Now it's time to go and see the Oracle.
You ain't believe in the Sacramento
in the new digs.
You haven't believed in
the Chase Center or whatever they call it now. But it's time to go see.
I promise you, it's not changing from the Chase anytime soon, buddy. It's a Chase. It's gonna be the Chase.
It's gonna be a Chase for a minute.
It's gonna be the Chase.
The Oracle is old school. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's Chase. Yeah. They got plenty of cheese invested into that. That's not changing.
It's gonna be the Chase, buddy.
You're right with that one. My bad on that one. But the Dragons are just gonna go home and get better rest and
should Draymond be suspended for the stomp on Sabonis?
For sure.
Sabonis. Will they suspend him? I'm glad. I'm glad you think he should be suspended. I would expect you to go a different way. Will he be suspended? I don't think they're going to suspend him, but I think he should have been suspended. At least one game.
I can't see how they wouldn't suspend him. If they didn't suspend him, it would be kind of weird if they didn't. He clearly stepped on Sabonis's ribs. Like I didn't really see the hold that he was talking about. I mean, maybe that had been going on for a while.
He grabbed him. He grabbed him. Yeah,
but even if you do that, though, it's like
he grabbed his leg. He grabbed his leg. I didn't think that was anything. That was a technical. It wasn't a non-basketball move. Sure, I don't.
In today's NBA, that he should probably be suspended because he clearly, it was a conscious effort to step on him. It wasn't like he was trying to let me get my foot out. No, he got his foot out and then stepped on him.
Yeah.
So but I think we're watching, hooping the 80s and 90s. It's just funny, right? It's just like okay.
Today, this is what they're calling today. So
we're suspended for a game. You're kicked out of this game, and
Yeah.
I mean, you watch Kevin McHale clothesline Kurt Rambis wasn't nothing. He just got the 2 technicals.
No, it wasn't. That was a common foul. That was a common foul back then.
It wasn't common. We had the 2 techs and like, okay,
No, that
stop
was
doing that.
yeah.
But everybody needs a villain, and Draymond plays a good villain. So, and I think he should get suspended for a game.
Yeah, I think this is what I've seen in the series. Like I'm not really rooting for either way, but I see the Kings being the younger team, the Warriors being the more veteran team, but the Kings, I see the Warriors not being able to keep up with the Kings. That's how I see this going. Every time the Warriors do something, the Kings are right there. And that's just
there's certainly that element to it, and the ball swinging and the movement and the way Mike Brown's got them buying into trusting each other. It clearly
Mike Brown knows what's going on over there.
It clearly shows that they look a lot like the Sacramento Kings before, right? They all move the ball. They're shooters and this and that, and that's great.
But
now they're going to the Chase Center against the defending NBA champions.
But Clay,
and here's the other part. Here's the other part. Here's the other part. Here's the other part.
This is the deal.
Here's the other part. The Golden State Warriors were thinking that they only had to apply a little bit of pressure and they were going to fall apart. That hasn't happened. They have to actually apply the full amount of pressure for them to fall apart, which is interesting. Good for them. At home,
I'm not buying that.
They haven't had to, they've been able to weather the storm. They're about to go on the road.
The Kings beat them all three times this season. So they won in the Chase Center. They're familiar with that. I don't.
That was regular. That was game 14 or 16 of the regular season. Which one is that?
It might have been game 21.
Okay,
but yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So it wasn't game 3 of the Western Conference playoffs.
The first round of playoffs. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
But nonetheless, this is not Steph. Obviously, Steph is in his bag. This is not. We're not looking at 2016, 17 Clay.
Doesn't have to be all that. Doesn't have to be all that.
What do you mean it doesn't have to be? That's what you're wanting. That's what you're wanting.
The 2022 Steph and Clay was good enough, right? We just need that one. We don't need the 16. Yeah, they won the NBA championship, so it was good enough.
That might have been the last grab, bro. That's what I'm saying to you. That might have been the last.
Yeah,
last
so
grab.
but you're asking me to, like, I'm reaching back to 16, 17. No. You just have to reach back to 22. You got to reach that far.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I don't have any dislike for the Warriors. I don't dislike them. I like the Warriors. I like what Clay and Steph has been able to do over the careers.
That would be a real feel-good story if the Sacramento Kings were able to upset the natural order of things.
Yeah,
and then meet the Los Angeles Lakers in the second round. Ooh,
they got, and De'Aaron Fox lights up when he see purple and gold.
Sure
Even though they don't have his college rival, he lights up when he gets to LA.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be interesting.
We had the Knicks and the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks beat the Cavs earlier. Cavs turned around and won tonight, so it was a 1-1. What do you think of that series? How that series is going?
I thought Julius Randle played out of his mind that first game that they won in Cleveland. Is it sustainable? Not quite 100% sure. They'll go back to the Garden. I've never been one to have a whole lot of confidence in Donovan Mitchell, unfortunately. I think he kind of plays in spurts. I think he kind of overachieves against lesser opponents and doesn't necessarily step up when it's really, really critical.
Ooh,
so, hard to say.
Ooh, you just took some swinging chops at Donovan Mitchell right there.
I mean, Spider-Man's got a lot of ability. He's a perennial all-star, man, but he's also a guy that perennially gets to this part of the playoffs and just not quite enough.
Ooh, hold on. Cleveland with his shots at Donovan Spider Mitchell. So you
Yeah.
think in Utah wanted to get rid of he was part of the problem, it sounds like.
Not part of the problem. It's not part of the solution, Cam. He can't be your best player and you win a championship. That's not a thing. We've already gone down the criteria, Cam. Oh, and Cam?
Donovan Mitchell
fans
can't be your best player on a team.
Cam and fans. Can I share a little bit of knowledge? Can I sprinkle you cats just a tad bit?
Please, you haven't. It's been an hour and 15 minutes.
Did a little bit of research, and you guys know that I'm not a stat guy. I'm not going to stat you to death. Okay. You know how I feel about what you have to do and who you have to be to win a championship. Okay. I did a little research. In the last 50 years, only 7 players have won the MVP and not won a championship. 3 of those players have been in the last 5 years. So the 45 years prior to that, only 4 players had ever won an MVP and not won a championship.
So we have.
Let me go with this list for you guys.
Steve Nash 3 times, right?
The 3 players in the last 5 years that have won the MVP
Jokic
and not won a championship: Joker, Westbrook, Harden. The 4 players before them: Derrick Rose, Allen Iverson, Karl Malone, Steve Nash. Carl and Allen actually got to an NBA Finals. Steve and Derrick did not. You have to be that dude to get this done. Donovan Mitchell is not in the conversation.
But
I will say that he is still in the waiting room because he's been in the playoffs a couple times. He's in the waiting room, but he's way back there in the back by the water cooler.
I don't. I mean, that's kind of a harsh. Donovan. I mean, appreciate your research there, but Donovan Mitchell never been in the MVP conversation, so I don't know how he gets that put in that expectation.
What do you mean?
Donovan Mitchell has never been put in the as an MVP in the MVP conversation. He's never been in that category. So how do you give him this?
Cam,
how do you give him those expectations?
You're missing the point. Everyone that wins the championship has an MVP of the league on their team. Almost always. I say all that to say Donovan Mitchell is not getting to the championship. And he's not even getting past the first round.
They're gonna beat the Knicks. It's tied up right now. They're gonna beat the Knicks. I mean, you went a long way to say that they're gonna beat the Knicks. I don't know what you got on that, but they're gonna beat the Knicks. And as far as they just beat the Knicks by 30 tonight. They lost game 1. Knicks cut them off off guard.
I mean, Julius was playing out of his mind. They got that first one, and I mean, they could possibly do something.
Knicks might get one in New York, but the Knicks ain't gonna beat.
But Donovan Mitchell is not. Yeah, he cannot be your best player and win a championship.
I mean, I think you put a lot of more expectations on him. Is he championship caliber? I don't know.
If he's your 2 or 3, yeah, for sure. Not if he's your best player.
So him being a Cleveland Cavaliers best player because he's better than Garland, right? He's better than Mobley as great as Mobley is.
Allen.
Yeah, he's better than all those guys. But I think the thing that you're missing when you poo-poo what he's able to do, like that Allen Iverson or those Allen Iverson Philadelphia 76ers were built for Allen Iverson. They had McTumble, they had Theo Ratliff, they had Lynch, they had McKee, Andre McKee.
Aaron
McKee. That team was built for Iverson to shoot 40 times a game and be the energy for that team. And that's what he was best at. And that's what those other guys thrived at rebounding, playing, doing all the dirty work, right? Junkyard Dog, they even had on that team.
Yeah, Cam. Again,
The Cavaliers are built. I'm not comparing him to. I'm not comparing him to Allen Iverson. In I guess I am in a sense. This Cavaliers team is built for somebody like Mitchell just to put points up. In Utah, they expected him to play defense. He's not asked to play much defense because they have Mobley and the other big guy down there to play the defense. They're asking him. His role is to just be a scorer on this team. I'm not ready to dispel that formula works. Will he be an MVP the first time?
See, you keep talking about formulas and stuff, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I keep trying with every possible way to say this that you just simply will not understand. You can't just be some dude. You have to be a basketball god to win a championship. Donovan Mitchell is not a basketball god, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, if by chance they get past the New York Knicks, will not advance past the second round of the playoffs because Donovan Mitchell is their best player. You cannot win a championship with that being the dynamic.
The case. Well, we'll see how far it goes because you're not.
That's what we talk about, Cam. That's why we have our list. That's what we talk about. So we go round and round and round and round and round and round.
You're not a basketball god until you are, right?
You're not a basketball god until you are.
That's until you are. Yeah. And I mean, we'll throw that up. We'll throw that up. I don't know. They aren't winning the championship.
And that would be the fourth in 6 years.
I don't know.
Not be a champion.
So Cleveland, go ahead and unveil. Are you ready to unveil your awards? I unveiled my.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, it's real easy this year.
All right, well, let's listen to. Go ahead. Before I got a question about your first timers, usual suspects, and basketball guys. Oddly enough, it's based on the same conversation we were just having. Well, go ahead and unveil your MVP, Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, your Rookie of the Year, and your Most Improved Player of the Year. Let's hear it.
Sure, Cam. That's real easy to do. MVP is Embiid. Coach of the Year is Mike Brown. Defensive Player of the Year is Jaren Jackson Jr. Rookie of the Year is Paolo Banchero. Most Improved Player, Rui Hachimura.
Rui. This is a regular season award. He's better.
Oh, right. I'm so sorry.
Lauri Markkanen.
You're right. He's a regular season.
He's trying to get Rui out for one game. He's trying to give him an award out for one game.
The Most Improved Player of the Year. Cam, I hadn't really given that too much consideration. But I'm gonna go with Michael Bridges, man.
Mikal Bridges. Since he got traded to Brooklyn, just opened up his game. That's not a bad mark. Better than Lauri Markkanen.
He did resurrect himself, but he always had potential in Chicago. So I guess it's kind of I'm okay with either one of those picks.
Jaren Jackson, interestingly enough, he told me, yes, I do want to win Defensive Player of the Year. This is a couple weeks ago. He was serious about wanting to win it. He won it, so congratulations to him.
And that's great. And he certainly was a factor and a presence in that game one.
And he'll be a presence all series long. I don't know why you wouldn't expect him to be a presence all year long.
Okay,
he's going to
be. We're not all series long, Cam. Let's be honest. After game 3, he's going to get a little bit tired of playing at that high of a level, and that level of expectation is going to. That's usually what happens.
Whoa!
That's why only basketball gods win. That's why only basketball gods win championships, because they never get tired of being great, and it's never too much for them. and they just continue to do that every game.
Well, it sure looked like the other night that that number 6 was a little being more than a role player, was a little more than for him to he can call on.
Oh, so you didn't see all those chase down blocks he was getting in?
That's because he wasn't playing defense. He figured I could get a chase down block. I'll go play defense on this one here. Because
so run down the court 94 feet, jump up in the air, time the ball perfectly like 3 times in the game.
Well, more like 48 feet because he wasn't playing defense. He was at half court, saw the guy driving. Okay, let me go get this. So like 3 times he had 3. How many shots go up a game? Something like 60 shots go up a game. So he gets 3.
I would agree with you. He did not have a king like game.
So okay, what's the argument?
It was not one of his signature games. It was not his 45 and 15 in Boston. Yeah, it was not his 38 and 16 in San Antonio. It wasn't one of his signature games. Yet they still didn't win the game.
They won. Hey, kudos to you. Thanks for acknowledging that. Right.
And that home court advantage is with LA. So.
Oof. And we're gonna see this. It's questionable of what game the next game looks like. Fans, let's take a little break here, Cleveland. When we come back, we're going to talk, have our fan favorite segment this week in history, and we're going to get into some boxing. Cleveland, we got boxing on the docket. A good game coming up this weekend. I don't need to know if you saw the movie Air, Cleveland. Did you see the movie Air?
I have not seen the movie.
Are you interested in seeing the movie Air?
Oh man, maybe if once it comes on, on the Netflix and stuff, it'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's about what it's worth, man. It's a fallacy, actually. Well, it's made for the movies. It's not the true Sonny Vaccaro being the star of the movie. It's not the star that I know of, Sonny Vaccaro. But so it's more made for the movies. But it made it kind of emotional and touching, etc. and all that. But we're gonna let's take a little break right now, Cleveland. Let's come back, wrap the show up.
Be right back.
Who am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name's
Cameron.
Cam Buford.
You got some good questions today.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
Is the promoter more of an advisor, or are you telling him what you want to do? Help me out in that relationship.
You know what, I think people are starting to find out, finally, that boxing is just as much a business, just like the NFL, just like the NBA, just as much a business as it is a sport.
I've been a leader.
So you've been a leader, okay. So you are lifting weights currently?
It's not like
No. When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble, because you can go from one night, going 4 for 4, being on top of the world, and I can sit here and gloat and pump my chest and do this and that, and also guess what? The next night I'm 0 for 4.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
Like you said, it's my voice, so I think it's a big part of my game, and every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for
nobody.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
Finish this one for me. Mister, before you let me go.
I can't finish that one.
What are some of the other things that you're doing to prepare for this fight, this revenge?
Masturbating 7 times a day.
Seven times?
Only 7.
Damn, wow.
Keep me testosterone pump it up. Don't.
Like sometimes people that talk a lot, they're really not saying anything.
If you haven't told your girlfriend about the show, tell her about the show. If you haven't told your boyfriend about the show, tell him about the show. If you haven't told your cousin, your uncle, your grandfather about the show, let everybody know about the Voice of the Fans podcast.
Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do. Yeah.
Man, Cam, I had to look at that intro so intricately, man.
What's up?
Two Danielle's dinners if the Mariners make the playoffs in 2022.
We got it. I'll be there. I'll be there in summer. We'll see what's up. They made the playoffs. That was a good call from a while ago. Are they above 500?
No, we're not ready to talk yet. They were yesterday.
Okay. Cleveland, welcome back, fans. This is our segment, This Week in History, fans. We're going to talk about some of the historical events that happened in this week some years ago. April 16th, 1862, Congress passed a bill, Cleveland, in 1862, ending slavery in Washington, D.C. How about that, Cleveland? When was the Civil Rights Movement, Cleveland?
Civil rights movements in the 60s.
1960. So nearly 100 years ago, 100 years after slavery was abolished, there was the Civil Rights Movement. Cleveland, 4/18, 1977, Pulitzer Prize winner, or Pulitzer Prize was awarded to Alex Haley for his groundbreaking semi-biographical novel, Roots, as you may have read, heard, seen the movie. Cleveland, 1983, April 18th, that same Pulitzer Prize was awarded to the first African American for her book, The Color Purple, Miss Alice Walker. And just like that, Cleveland, it is a 10-point game. Phoenix Suns up on the Clippers, 73-63 with 7.5 minutes to go. Kawhi Leonard under a lot of pressure to get some shots off. 10-point game right now for the Suns. Cleveland, April 19, 1978, Max Robinson became first African American to anchor the network news show on ABC. Cleveland, April 19, 1947, Jackie Robinson became the first African American to play in a major league when he suited up for the then Brooklyn Dodgers. Cleveland, April 18, 1966, Bill Russell was named Boston Celtics head coach, making him the first African American coach in the NBA. April 18, 1966. Cleveland, we got a big fight this weekend. Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Who you got?
Tank Davis.
Tank Davis. That was a Tank Davis fight you came to LA to see, right? Was that a Tank Davis fight?
Yeah, that was when he barely made weight. He had to go back in the dressing room and shed off like 2 pounds in like half an hour. That's crazy.
But he laid dude out, if I remember correctly, right? Was that the fight he laid dude out?
He did.
So yeah, Tank fights Ryan Garcia Saturday night. Watch it. Is it gonna end? Is it going early? Is it going 6? Is it going the distance? What do you think?
9-round knockout.
9th round knockout. I think it's gonna be like a 6-round knockout, 5 or 6. I got it going in that. I'm really surprised this fight is going on. We got Devin Haney fight Lomachenko. I think this should be Haney and Garcia. I think should be fighting for a chance at Tank Davis. That's really how I feel. Ryan talked his way into this fight, so kudos to him. But
is my man that beat Lomachenko still got head issues or still grappling with his trainer situation or what?
Teofimo or
yeah, that was my guy, man. He beat Lomachenko and then he just kind of went off the deep end.
No, his dad is his trainer. But no, he lost to the Australian dude. He lost to the Australian dude.
And then the Australian dude ducked him, but then he came back and fought somebody and won that fight, and then he ain't fought nobody since.
Right.
Yeah, see that boxing carousel will be working.
He gotta work his way back up to the. He was a champion. He has a 4-time championship, Cleveland, and lost his fight. He wasn't ready and lost it. Yeah, you gotta go to the back of the line. You don't lose and get the. You gotta go to the back of the line. There's other cats ready. So yeah, he gotta get it. He gotta get back in there.
There's other cats already that have beaten Lomachenko. He might, because as I recall, no one had done that before.
But again, once you lose, though, you got to get back in line.
And
Like
Buck
Loma
Crawford and
hasn't
Errol
been.
Spence Jr. still ain't fought. So man, ain't no reason to be talking about boxing. Why are you talking about it all like
They still ain't
spirited and
fought
heavy
yet.
and stuff, man?
No,
Boxing
because
is
there's
still
some good
correct.
fights coming on. Never mind.
They don't put the best fights together. That's why boxing is where it's at right now.
And there's truth to what you're saying. However, there are still good fights being made. This weekend it's a decent. I give this fight a 8. A 8.
You give that fight a 6.
Maybe a 7. Truth. Haney Lomachenko is going to be a better fight. Though I'm really think that
Devin Haney, that ain't gonna be no good fight. Lomachenko gonna beat Devin Haney to death.
No, Loma. This fight's about 2 years too old. But Loma didn't want to fight Haney when Loma had all the belts. Loma loses the belts. Now he's grappling. He want to fight somebody, and Haney need a good name to fight. So that's why they're fighting. But this is Haney. This fight is about 2 years too late for Lomachenko.
As all boxing matches are a little like 2 years too late.
Yeah, so
sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6 years too late. Cam.
Sometimes it is. But that fight's next month. But this is going to be a good fight this weekend for you guys to tune in to see. Cleveland, how much NHL playoffs are you watching?
Watching a little bit, Cam. The Kraken are in it. You know,
they made the playoffs.
They sure did.
What, like they snuck in?
No, comfortably in there.
You've been watching the Kraken all season?
I did go to a Kraken game. Watch them play the Edmonton Oilers. It's a good game.
But, okay, not just go to the game. Are you watching them? Are you following hockey?
Yeah. A little bit.
Just enough to be dangerous, huh?
Just enough to be dangerous.
Okay. All right. Well, there's much hockey going on down here in the South. NASCAR. I want to see what's going on with some NASCAR. Is anybody do anything with NASCAR? I know they at least we're talking about it at one point, having a NASCAR race up there. Did they run up there one time?
They did not ever get there was a few land opportunities to build a NASCAR raceway a little bit further north. It just never came to fruition. There was one actually up by Bellingham, and there was one in Ellensburg they were going to do. That one was like really supposed to be the one, because you can imagine that demographic really gravitating towards NASCAR, right? So that was kind of yeah, like, okay, that's a pretty good place to have it, but it just never came to be.
I thought they had something. I thought they had a race up in the Northwest. If maybe it was Portland. Cleveland, did you see the Mariners, or not the Mariners? Did you see the situation where the ump told the Yankees pitcher to go wash his hands? Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Because he was dude struck out the first 9 batters of the game, and then the ump, I think they were playing the Orioles, called the ump over to tell them to go check it out. So now they can check out the gloves. What do you think about that? Them being able to check out the gloves and look at it. I mean, he's touching his, fondling his hands like there's a lot going on. You didn't see that?
I didn't. I'm glad they give the referees that type of latitude if they're just seeing that type of movement and that type of, perhaps doctoring of the ball. I did watch. I don't know if you had a chance to see the 30 for 30 on the Mets, the 86 team.
Yeah.
But they had those balls that were scuffed from Mike Scott, and it was just like so egregious. Like, wow, like you will never hit that. He was already the Cy Young winner, and now you can like put that extra scuff on it. And that was that game 6. They were like, and the relievers were like, we knew that if we didn't win this game, there was no way they were gonna hit him.
Yeah,
with them scuffing the ball like that. So I definitely understand the dramatic difference it can have if you're able to do that, and if they're able to pick it up, then great. I mean, people cheat in baseball, so if you're able to catch it sooner, and it's all this technology now, and you just can't do the stuff you used to do back. You can't just be rubbing, the back of your head, scratching your leg,
or rubbing the bill, and you rubbing the bill half the stuff.
Everybody's watching now, all kinds of cameras, man. Like, drones and whatnot, man. They'll just zero in on that. Like, now he got some stuff on his hands. Go wash your hands.
So Jordan Walker, his hit streak ended at 12. Give him a round of applause for jumping off the 12-game hit streak at the beginning of the season. What are some of the Major League Baseball storylines right now? Are your Mariners 500? Can we talk about them yet?
They were 500 yesterday. They lost the game to the Brewers, so they're one game under 500. One of the storylines for myself personally is a friend of mine was like, should we jump on this Luis Castillo one in the Cy Young? It's like plus 1,600. But here in Seattle, you have to go all the way to Tribal Casino to make sports wagers.
You're 25 minutes from Embassy Suites.
About 45 minutes out there, and like for making like prop bets, it's like, hadn't really thought about it. And we were both like, yeah, no, that would be a good bet to put down. And since then, he's won like 4 games and he's like got like a 1 run area. He went from like 16 to like 9. So it's like, that was like, okay, so Castillo's dealing.
What about Shohei?
Shohei's doing his thing.
Shohei still get down. He's gonna leave. He's probably gonna leave Anaheim, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So crazy, Anaheim, and it's further between Tacoma and Seattle. Is Seattle and Tacoma are closer than Anaheim in Los Angeles, but it's the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I used to want him up here, but I'm kind of thinking he might, getting Julio shadow a bit, and we got this other budding superstar coming up. So, I'm not sure if it's the best fit for him right now.
Oh, you got somebody better than Shohei coming up?
I didn't say better.
No.
I said team chemistry wise, trying to take away from Julio shine and
the way you talk about team chemistry don't matter. If you're that guy, you're that guy. Right?
That's in hoop, Cam. Keep it straight, man. That's in hoop.
Here we go. Now it changes the story a little bit. Now we're changing the story. I got you. So takeaways is anything. Do you have the Mariners making the playoffs? You don't want to talk about it because they're not 500, but
they make the playoffs. Yeah, they make the playoffs for sure.
All right, we'll see. And we have your prediction of AL and NL champs. Are still Mariners still winning the AL. And the Padres still winning NL.
That's still a thing.
That's still a thing. Yeah, we'll see how that comes to work, fans. Fans, I want to thank you guys. So give yourself a round of applause tonight. Thank you guys for being part of the show. This is again week 237 of this iteration of the Voice of the Fans podcast. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. However you're listening to us, wherever you're listening to us. If you're listening to us on HB Media TV, go ahead and subscribe to their channel. Make sure you watch some of the other shows on there. They have some good shows. TVJ does his thing along with Pavi as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, Voice of the Fans YouTube page, we appreciate you. Go ahead and leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching us from. What city, what town you're watching us from. What you doing while you're watching the show. Go ahead and let us know the information if you're watching us on however you're watching us. If you're listening to us on Spotify, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That helps us with the algorithm. We appreciate that. So however you choose to listen to the show, we thank you guys for listening to the show. And I want to end the show with this one quote, Cleveland. When you're good at something, you'll tell everyone. When you're great at something, they'll tell you. That's Walter Payton, Cleveland. Walter Payton said that. Late great Walter Payton. I'll repeat that for those on the back. When you're good at something, you'll tell everyone. When you're great at something, they'll tell you. Again, the great Walter Payton.
And Cam, in the spirit of the season, what that sound like?
What?
In the spirit of the season, what does that sound like?
That sounds like the Clippers are going to show you how good they are when
No,
they
that
finish
sounds like
up.
the criteria for winning an NBA championship. Say it again, Cam, for the fans one more time. Say it one more time. The same way you just said it.
The Clippers are winning the NBA championship.
No. The Walter Payton quote.
When you're good at something, you'll tell everyone.
When you're good at something, Cam, you'll tell everybody.
Well, this one touches you a little bit, huh?
Okay.
When you're great at something, they'll tell you.
Because of the parallel of what we're talking about. And what's the second part of that?
When you're great at something, they'll tell you.
They'll tell you.
So right now, leaving about to end the show. It's 77-85. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Phoenix Suns up on the Clippers by 8 points. We'll see how this thing changes. Cleveland, thanks for your time. Fan, thank you once again for your time. Please subscribe to the show. Leave a comment on the show. Let me know where you're watching from. We appreciate your time. Thank you guys for once again for tuning in. Give yourself a round of applause. And we're going to end the show.
Hey, Marcel Smiley right here. Thank you for making our voice your choice. You know what I'm saying? Let me give me a beat, dog. Let me get something.